Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. It's another day and another card reveal. So today is a variety pack. We have here, form up a 2-cost Demacia card, burst, give an ally 2/2 this round. Seems pretty good, just will be a nice simple combat trick. We also have here, search warrant, a 4-cost fast. An ally with 4 power captures a unit, or an ally captures a landmark. So this is interesting, probably won't really see much use in Path of Champions. Form up actually will probably be pretty good if you get that in a shop or something, especially if you get a certain power on it, like being able to get that to go off twice, or you just get this to be a little bit lower cost. Could be quite good for a lot of decks. Next we have Thrall Bulwark, a 3-cost 3/4. I don't take damage from allied spells or skills. This is actually great because this is obviously a Lissandra support card, and Lissandra is all about using that one spell that deals 1 damage to everything. So the fact that you'll be able to use that and not damage at least some of your units will be quite good. Really hoping we get Lissandra as a champion in Path of Champions, and this would be a great card to put in her support deck. Next we have Frostcoat Cub, 2-cost 2/3. Spend 6 mana to play me as a Frostcoat Mother instead. And we see that over here. As you can see, it doesn't have a gem, so you can't put this version in your deck. This one can only be generated from the Cub. That is 6-cost 7/5 with Overwhelm. Pretty nice card, giving you the choice to either play this as a early game unit with a decent stat line, or if it's later in the game, you can then choose to play this as the Frostcoat Mother. Again, a very strong unit and very aggressive with that 7 attack or 7 power plus Overwhelm. I always enjoy cards that give you the option. Just gives you a nice amount of flexibility. Taking a look at the next group now. This is a Shadow Isles 2-cost slow, Soul Harvest. Kill a follower with 3 or less power, or spend 4 mana to kill a champion with 3 or less power. Great that again, this is another card giving you a option on how much mana you want to spend to kill what unit you need. Also the fact that this is kill a follower, so it could be your own follower or the enemy follower. Shadow Isles, quite often you want to kill your own units. Or then you can spend a little bit more mana to kill a champion. Again, normally you don't want to kill your own champion, but there are some use cases that can be helpful. So seems like a great card. Again, I always love the versatility with some of these cards. Next we have 6-cost slow, again Shadow Isles, Eradication. Kill all units with 3 or less power. That's interesting, reminds me quite a lot of the Noxus card of if you have a unit with 5 or more power, kill all units with like 3 or less power. So it's kind of the Shadow Isles version of that. But now you don't have to have the modifier of having your own unit above that. So this will be very situational, but definitely can help you out. I feel like this is going to be much more niche though than Soul Harvest. All right, up next we have the Cosmic Youngling. So round start, heal me and your Nexus 1, 2-cost 1/4 from Targon. This will be very good for the Soraka decks. Just another great support card for that. Also, if you see this in Path of Champions, would be pretty nice just to get a little bit of sustain, especially if you have a slower deck like maybe Ornn. Then last up, we have Falling Star. So a 2-cost slow, again from Targon. Deal 4 to an enemy that attack this round or is stunned. So this is very similar to the Zoe spell that gets generated after your Trouble Bubble, which I think has the same modifier, but at least for this, you don't actually have to play the Trouble Bubble first. You can just put this in your deck and use it as is. This could probably have great usefulness if you're playing Yasuo and you see this in a shop. It'd be great removal, especially any really items on here would really elevate it to a pretty OP level, especially since you're stunning a unit every single round. Could be very, very nice for that. Overall, these cards seem very nice. I always like it when they add a couple more cards to better flesh out some different playstyles. We don't see that often. I'm sure some of the PvP players will really enjoy some of these cards, but then also some of these will be great if you see them in shops in Path of Champions. And I'm always excited about more Lissandra support cards. Hopefully we see her soon added to Path of Champions. All right, the site has finally loaded, so let's take a look at these cards. So a couple spells here, which is always a little disappointing as their card art is a bit weaker, but let's take a look at Form Up. Yep, very Demacian, fits in with all the other Demacian cards. Looks good, but again, it is a spell, so it is rather simple. All right, Search Warrant 3 times because this one generates the other 2. So we've seen these characters, both their sigil and then the characters themselves, the Mage Seekers, in a lot of different Demacian cards. This one fits in with all the others. They're looking for mages to throw in jail, and they actually are searching for Lux and a good amount of the photos. All right, onto the cards I'm actually really excited about. all of these 3 Freljord ones. So the Thrall Bulwark. So again, a very scary frozen Thrall. This one with a decent amount of armor on it. I believe these are all trolls that Lysandra froze and kind of changed into being her minions for whenever she would need them. Very cool card. I like that you can see a couple of them in the background. Not sure what they're fighting, but all of Lysandra's cards look really, really cool in more ways than one. I think they're some of the best looking cards in the game, and this continues with that motif and trend. So next we have the Frostcoat Cub and then the Frostcoat Mother. This one is just, So it's adorable, cute little bunnies, but then in the background you see, oh no, looks like a troll that's potentially trying to hunt these creatures. Over here on the left-hand side, this is probably the mother that we're about to see. But yeah, the cub, having fun, playing with the bunnies, just trying to be as cute as possible. But I do like they have the hidden details in the background of the mother, seeing and growling at the hunter that looks like it's trying to get the adorable little cub. And those bunnies are just the cutest little things. All right, taking a look at the mother now. So we see, yes, it looks like a troll. You can see the 3 fingers because trolls generally all have the 3 fingers. Then the big scary mother with the same coloring that we saw in the last photo. So yep, that looks correct. Then the adorable little cub cowering at her side. And over here we see, I forget the name of the card, but it is the card generated by one of the wolf. The wolf is a challenger unit and generates this like 1/1 bunny critter thing. So funny that we're seeing that, which is again a part of another card. Overall looks very nice. The adorable little cub cowering and the big scary mother protecting her child. All right, next we have Soul Harvest. So that looks like Callista's spear that is about to get rid of this unit. Actually, one thing I just noticed. So this is kill a follower with 3 or less power. That is very similar to another Noxus card that essentially has the same thing of kill a unit with 3 or less power. I think that one's a fast speed, not a slow speed, although I could be wrong. So I just got that is what they're trying to copy here, which I do like that they will acknowledge that they are copying the card and have them be very similar. They did the same thing with the Flash Bomb Peddler. So yeah, they're copying the Noxus card, but this one is a bit better because it gives you the versatility of choosing who you want to kill. Overall, good card art. I like that they are calling back to the original design. So here's the card I was talking about, the Culling Strike. This is Noxus, and yes, it's fast. Kill a unit with 3 or less power. As you can see, it is very similar for design. We see a bearded man and a blade. And then the Noxus card was very similar with, again, a bearded man, different beard, and then a different blade. They used Callista's spear instead. So it's nice that they're calling back to a card that kind of is very similar. This one is a little bit more expensive, but it's fast. The other one, cheaper, but you get that versatility with it, but it is slow. So I do like the fact that they're calling back to the cards that fulfill a similar purpose, but are just used for a different deck. I think that's very interesting. Next up, we have Eradication. Again, this fulfills a similar purpose as a Noxus card, but taking a look at the card art, looks very Shadow Isles. It is nice that they're able to use a similar style, so it fits in perfectly with the Shadow Isles, and yet it still stands out on its own, despite the fact that it has such a similar design to several other cards, like Glimpse. As you can see right here, this is Glimpse from Beyond, or Glimpse Beyond, and very similar design to the last card, but again, there is a bit of a difference there, so you can tell that it's definitely still Shadow Isles, but it's still its own card, and you can distinguish them from each other just with the card art themselves. Next up, we have the Cosmic Youngling. So, cute card, fairly simple. Again, calling back to other Targon cards. We do have these, what are they, Stellacorns? Yeah, I believe they're called like Stellacorns or something like that. And we have several of those different types of cards in Targon. Not really too much to notice in the background or anything other than there is a older, more mature version. And then this is obviously the Targon Mountains with their unique sort of rune-covered slopes. So overall, decent card, but not too interesting to be honest. All right, last card, Falling Star. So it is a spell card, so there's not too much detail, especially in the background, but it is very pretty. All of these stars in the background, as well as the other falling comets. And then the amount of color here is very pretty. It's probably one of the prettiest spell cards, in my opinion, to be honest. Quite nice. All right, that's it for the new card art, as well as evaluating the cards themselves. I hope you enjoyed this. We're covering all of the new content, and we'll be putting out even more content when the patch goes live. So if you want to see all of that, definitely like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a great day.